Hello, my name is Elder Price, and I would like to share with you the most amazing book.
Welcome to special discussion.
My name
That's
is
awesome.
This
He
episode,
just thought that up right now.
this episode where we are, this is our first attempt at this kind of thing. So I guess we could have done it with other ones before, but this one where we're discussing the Book of Mormon. This is our book club.
Not
time.
that one.
Okay, not that one. This one, the Book of Mormon.
That Book of Mormon.
The
Or
acclaimed show.
Return of the Jedi.
It's adapted, yes.
Yeah.
Adapted from that one. The acclaimed Trey Parker, Matt Stone, well, mostly Trey Parker, musical. This one, yeah, it's always mostly Trey Parker. And this one comes out of our discussions of other Trey Parker things, the South Park ones where we discuss South Park the movie and Cannibal the musical.
Yeah.
This is the next musical thing we'll discuss from Trey Parker. And fortunately, we can't do this as an instant discussion because it's not on Instant Watch and a little harder for people to get to go see. But
A lot harder. But amazing.
we're still gonna say with
Because it runs over.
Yeah. Well, this one runs over. It's a touring production, so that means more people can see it in the country. It's always going to be in New York for quite a long time. They're doing quite well over there. You can get more in frame here.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
Totally out of frame. Yeah, well, we're going to say, like, with a lot of the movies that we discuss or on instant discussions, if you haven't seen it, don't watch this. Because we're going to go...
Please don't watch
Yeah.
this. Like, if you don't know anything about the Book of Mormon, because I didn't, I avoided so much.
And it's
before
really
I saw
tough to
the play.
avoid this stuff with like a big Broadway show like this that it goes on for so long because it takes a lot longer for people to go see it. Like with a movie, it's out all across the country at once. You can go see it and then come back, and so it's easier to go see it before the spoilers get out there.
I somehow managed. The
Yeah,
only
it
thing
is.
that it spoiled for me was the very first song.
I had heard some of the songs before and only very barely, but luckily most of it wasn't even around, so that was great. But we're gonna get really deep into talking about our favorite parts about this, so definitely ruin it. But if you have seen it, then thank you for joining us as we discuss what we love about it. Yes. All right, so this one. Do you remember back when you first heard about them making this musical?
Yes. Well, actually, the first time I heard about it was, or at least that I heard a lot about it was from Kevin Smith.
Yeah.
And you started
That
like
was after it
singing
was
little
already out, but
songs,
yeah,
and
he
I was
was-
like, this sounds amazing.
He went out to go see it in Broadway and just absolutely fell in love with it, as Kevin Smith would. It's definitely a type of comedy with that, and as anyone would. But that was one thing that spoiled a lot for me on his podcast,
Yeah.
where he said, "I'm just gonna, I don't want to spoil anything, but," and goes on to tell the entire
Yeah.
story, singing a couple of the songs from it.
Although it is kind of hard to tell this story because just because there's so many jokes.
There's a lot, yeah.
Yeah.
You can get the whole story of this and still not know all the jokes that they get in there.
Yeah.
And they're really great, and they're the way that it's done. So the before this, you've got Success of South Park. And you've got Avenue Q, written by composed by Robert Lopez, who also did Frozen. So it did a lot of great stuff. So he had done Avenue Q, which was made a lot of acclaim as being the adult puppet musical.
Yeah, which is really awesome too.
Yeah, it's a really good show. And then they team up. So that was the first I heard, was that Trey Parker's and Matt Stone are going to team up with Robert Lopez to make a musical. And
Have you seen the story though about how it came to be?
no. So let's tell us about that.
Well, I watched one of their interviews and they had just met Robert Lopez, and then Robert Lopez was like, "We should do something together, like maybe about Mormons," and they were like, "What? There's somebody who loves Mormons more than us?" And that was it. And I was
great.
like, "That's how it started," and then they just kept going with it.
It's been such a big source for them, of course, since they had grown up in the Mormon tradition.
Yeah.
So it's definitely something that they know a lot about, and in anything that they're satiring and talking about, especially the way that they present both sides of something.
Yeah.
So because they grew up in it, they know a lot about it. They know that their side of the Mormon Church's side of things, the Church of Latter-day Saints, and then they also know their own side of things and looking at it from a different side of thinking more about logic and reason behind everything on it, but still appreciating the good parts of it in there. So it does that in it where you present the good and the bad on each side of it.
Yeah, like the I believe.
Yes.
It's like these people are awesome, but God, they think some stupid shit. Like, then in 1978, God changed his view on black people. It's so hilarious.
Oh, they get that true history in there
Yeah.
as well.
I deserve my own planet.
Yes. So when I first heard they were working together on a show, I didn't hear that it was going to be and then they had already heard about that. Then you start hearing about like they're taking on an entire religion in a Broadway musical. How can that actually be successful? This isn't a movie that they're doing like the South Park musical, South Park movie. But at the same time, I'm excited to actually see a big Broadway show from these guys. I did not expect it to be the giant success that it was.
And I didn't expect it to be as fucked up as it was.
Yeah, well, first I didn't expect the success. Then I saw this. Then it became this huge successful thing, and us being on the West Coast here, and they started on in Broadway. So you get this huge success, selling out every single night, and continuing to be a success. Then they open it up in Los Angeles, still sells out all the time, and tickets are pricey, so tough to get out to go see the show.
Unless you buy them way in advance.
Yes. So thankfully we were able to get this one and see it. But so then after seeing it, after knowing that this is a huge success and that people are still coming to see this musical, with how offensive it is, it's
it really
amazing that
hit
people
me.
are not walking out.
Yeah, it really hit me when it's fuck God in the ass,
Yes.
face and mouth or cunt, and I was like, wow.
Fuck you guys.
Because at that point, it wasn't that bad, and once you got to that song, you're like, holy shit.
And everyone's singing along, dancing, possibly the Evil Eye. It's the huge production of that song that they're going into with that, and the language in there. And then that song ends, and instead of everyone either booing or walking out disgust, as you would expect in a Broadway show with the type of people that go see the Broadway shows, in the traditional sense of thinking of things, the fact that then they applaud like crazy at the end of that, and it brought me to tears with how beautiful that sight was, that the audiences were accepting of that. And it wasn't just the audience in that room at that time. It's thinking of everyone that's ever gone to see this show, that's sold out the show continually.
No, it's when you find out that your friend's parents have seen this.
Yes,
you're
like
holy
everyone's
shit.
parents have
And
seen
it's,
this.
and it's also just the history of theater.
Yeah.
Right? And then just the whole conflict with the church the whole time through, and yet here's literally a play where they're saying, fuck you, God.
Yeah,
And
and you get lots of very liberal sentiment in theater.
Yeah.
You get lots of people doing things that just wouldn't stand in other areas, and the theater is that outlet.
And then, do you remember do you guys have the
Way
playbill?
along the way. Yeah.
It had like all the ads for the Book
Yeah,
of
the book
Mormon.
they started putting it in there, which is, hey, it's
No,
a way to get that.
but that was what was so legit about this.
Yeah.
Was that it was like it pretty much is, it's following.
Yeah, it's
what it is. It's just taking this huge like.
it's like taking the truth and putting it in people's face, and everybody knows it's a joke.
But it still gives that. But
But it is and it isn't.
No, to us it's a joke. To them, this is their religion.
Yeah.
But looking at their message that they say at the end here, and get into that part on here.
Oh,
already.
the Book of Arnold.
Well, that they say when they talk to the African people, when Adele Dazeem, what's her name, learns that it's all that there is no Utah. Salt Lake City is not. She learns that she's not actually going to be going there, and the people around her say, "Don't you get it? That's a metaphor. There's no real Utah. This is all. These are just stories. You think this stuff actually happened?" And the idea of thinking of these stories in the book as stories and not thinking them as literal history, and looking at the messages behind them, and that's why they want to be good people based on these messages and do good things. And this is the example they're living by. It doesn't have to be true. So that's the other message you're getting from that, and why the Church of Latter-day Saints can put those advertisements in there and it still be valid. It's not like they're just saying this whole book is bullshit. It's all stupid. They're saying like, look at this book, look at the story, the stuff that they're saying, the stuff that they've been told. It seems really. This doesn't. I don't think this stuff actually happened. However, it's some good lessons in there, and the Mormon people are really nice people. Although they do have a few flaws with
Be
their
really fucking
accepting of
nice
some
and have a
people.
lot of babies.
Yeah, so you still get some good messages with that, and that's why they can still advertise in there and still use it as a Bible source. And it's definitely a ballsy move for them to do that. There are
It was the
lots
best
of
move. Like, other religions would have done totally the wrong
Yeah.
way and, like, lost people. Like, if
if
anything,
there
they're
are
going to
other religions that would do a lot of bad things against it.
Hold on. Which one are you thinking
I'm not.
of? You're not
Nothing
thinking
at all. Nope.
But we all
Moving
know
on.
which one.
Moving
We don't
on.
have to say anything.
Nope.
Everyone knows which religion we're
not.
talking about, right?
No.
Yes, we do.
There's actually a few of them that could be
No, there's one.
Well, yeah.
And we all know which one it is.
We're not saying
Jedi.
anything.
The Sith.
They got mind powers. You don't want to mess with them.
So, what did we were going to talk about favorite songs?
Sure. Yeah. Yeah. Let's go. Let's do this like we do our normal ones.
To me, it's in between I Believe and what's the one?
Turn It Off.
Turn It Off. Oh my God, Turn It Off was.
Turn It Off to me had that because of the different interactions I've had with LDS church members. From growing up in Boy Scouts, met a lot of them because they are the majority people in Boy Scouts, but also in just in other parts of life in school. Meeting a lot of them. There were some where I had they always had that very positive attitude, or usually do, and their family life looks very perfect. You know, that's the picture of it.
Until the Utah Jazz.
Well, this is the thing is, I'd heard someone make this comment of like, oh, your family always looks very nice. Like, yeah, they look that way, don't they? Like, but there was some that I had this suspicion of that there's something going on in your family life that doesn't seem good at all. And the part in that song in Turn It Off when they start to talk about their family, and that got so emotionally.
Oh yeah.
Talked about for that one. So it was very powerful, and I was like, oh no, because
It's so
totally,
powerful, but it's like, but then it's funny too, and it's
the whole song is very funny as well, and that's
the gay part was hilarious.
you get that brilliance in the comedy because you get the reality of the comedy in there, and it's emotional and serious and comedy.
See, those are my favorite. My least favorite, Spooky Mormon Hell Dream.
I guess
That was the one part I was like.
It's one that it's a little weaker of the songs I think as a whole, but there's some fun stuff in there, and I think especially seeing it live, it's a little tougher in the soundtrack when I listen back to it. But it definitely pays off on the visuals of that.
Well, the donuts and Hitler, like it's the visually, but
The
overall.
Satan guy, I like seeing that. It definitely it felt like that was the Richard Elfman, or Danny Elfman stuff taking over in that scene, like Oingo Boingo style scene there. It actually would have been cool if they got some Oingo Boingo music in that one.
So what about
So my favorite song, it's got to be Asadiga Evil Eye, which is it's the big anthem song in it. But it's that whole moment of watching everyone in the theater listening to that song, and
I was looking
and
around
applauding
to
that.
see other people.
Enjoying and applauding that song specifically, and it's beautiful that they're singing it. The moment when Arnold starts singing along with it, and they're singing along with it too, like, what does that mean? And I guess in a way it means.
Oh yeah. Does that mean no worries for the rest of your days?
Kinda. Evil Eye means God. Asadiga means fuck you. So I guess you could say it means fuck you, God. And then they continue singing that, and so the realization of I've been saying this. Oh no, what did I just say? And that's brilliant in that part. But then people understand that they've said that, and now they're still singing that.
Yeah.
It's beautiful. It's a beautiful thing to see. So.
Did you have any negative parts?
I gotta say, in that least favorite song, what I was talking about there on the Spooky Mormon Hell Dream. The Salta Lake City It's a little slower of a song, but I'm good with that. I think you gotta have that in the musical. That's traditional in there. And it still had some good funny parts in it, but wasn't as I think Speaking Mormon Hellgrim probably was too. The jokes in it were a little too overt, and just weren't places well.
Yeah.
How about you?
I'm also tied for, I believe, in Turn It Off. About which one of those would be my favorite, and then I'd give honorable mention to Making Things Up Again.
Oh yeah.
And Joseph Smith, American Moses.
Oh, those are so good too.
Those two definitely deserve my honorable mention.
When the Hobbits came out.
Yeah, those two definitely, and it might just be, just the whole idea behind them, it's so ridiculous and amazing. Of, them conveying these false stories and then just building this whole play. It's fantastic, and
it's very similar to, you can look at it in the correlate of them making this musical about the Mormon church, and also the one that's being told when they tell the stories of it, and the actual stories of the Mormon church. It's showing like these people heard these stories and now they're misinterpreting it in these ways, but they're still giving a great message through it. And
they're getting the good stuff.
That's exactly what you're getting with any of these telling these stories. Like the specifics of these stories get changed, and like that's not the way it actually happened. Like, is that important, or is what's important the message here?
Yeah,
they're getting across.
But definitely, I Believe and Turn It Off. Those two are so good. Holy cow! And I think I'm on board with yours for least favorite, which would be Salt on Lake.
Salt on Lake.
And Spooky Mormon Hellgrim.
Yeah. Which it's still like all great in the balance of the show.
No, it's still really
it's just,
good.
When you're looking at everything else, I Am Africa.
Yeah, that one would have been
catches my head a lot. They start singing that one. A lot of these songs, they're very, very catchy, and a lot of that goes to I think. Well, Trey Parker is great with getting a good catchy tune, but also Robert Lopez and just anyone out there belting out "Let It Go" will know that he can write a catchy tune.
Yeah, the one thing I like too is that the what is it? The Moses, the
All American Prophet, or the American.
Basically, when they're comparing this to that, and it's like totally the same, but not at all.
Yeah,
because I love the way they do that.
One's taken right from the Book of Mormon. The other one's taken from this guy who's heard it in his Sunday schools, and he's been told these stories, but doesn't really know it, and so he's filling in the rest with other
Darth Vader and
sci-fi stuff he's heard about.
One of the times I really laughed too was during the All American Prophet, was when he's like, I guess that's kind of what you're going for.
Yeah.
I was like, and I can imagine Mormons watching this and being like,
yeah. Well, and that's, I think, that's everything in the I Believe song.
Yeah.
I'm a Mormon and a Mormon just believes.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Yes, that line. Not questioning things. And Matt and Trey are definitely in the mindset of question everything.
Oh, one thing that I remembered. I don't know if you guys had the same experience.
Okay.
After the first intermission was right after Turn It Off, everyone in the crowd was talking about, how'd they do that with the best? How'd they do that? Like, everyone in the crowd, yeah. And I was like...
They're just... You know, theater quick change stuff.
That's not that bad.
Oh, but you guys were...
I wasn't hearing it, yeah.
And, well, you guys are in theater, though.
Yeah.
I'm sure these were just, like, regular people who were
well,
just, like... But a lot of people were talking about it in the audience.
It was definitely great. I mean, it's great seeing this in a live setting like this. Part of it, I would love to see this made into a movie, because you get a lot of musicals made into movies only because it makes it more available to more people to be able to see it. If this was something that people were able to watch just on instant watch on Netflix, and the more people get to enjoy this and the great messages in all of it. But it on the same time, you do lose a lot of that power of the entire audience full watching this one and seeing all their reactions to it while you have your own reactions.
Yeah, I know they've tried to do that with plays where they'll show it in movie theaters.
Yeah, Yeah. This could actually sell well in a movie theater.
This
I think
one would,
it
but the other ones, it's like,
Yeah, in other ones it's tougher, but even the names that you have behind this, and especially if you just go the songwriter from Frozen, Walt Disney Presents the Book of Mormon, like, just pack those theaters.
Yeah, songwriter Frozen, co-writers of South Park or whatever.
Just say, writers of the Broadway hit the Book of Mormon. Like, don't bring up South Park at all. Just only talk about Frozen.
Yeah, I guess people that love South Park enough to go see it would already know.
Yeah, they'd already know. So just like, I want
Yeah.
to pack the audience full of families and children. I just want to see what happens. Just let the chaos ensue.
Such a bastard.
What about the very beginning and throughout the play? Did you notice that their voices?
Yeah, Trey Parker's voice.
Yeah, I was like, that's awesome. And the way he does it, yeah.
It was beautiful to hear that in there. You get that in other shows I've seen. In The Producers, there's one line
But you know what's
that's dubbed over from
he's
Mel Brooks.
credited. It's credited otherwise in the play.
Oh, is that?
And that's what I thought was interesting. I was just like,
He's done
"God,
that before, though."
Sounds like him though. And I was like, but is it him or is it just some guy pretending and voicing it to be him?
I was saying also in Spamalot they have that with John Cleese's voice in there too. I believe he did say, I believe that he dubbed in the song. But,
And was I the only one who yelled blowjob really loud?
Yes. I don't remember that. I never.
No, from the South Park episode on musicals.
Oh,
Blowjob. So every chance I got, I was like, blowjob.
so you were the guy doing that in your theater?
Dude, I was so into this fucking musical the whole entire time.
No, yeah.
That you were yelling.
Yeah, that's how awesome it was.
What I did after watching this one, I went back and watched the South Park episode on Joseph Smith. And
Oh, dum 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 dum.
Yeah.
And that, like, because that to me is, that's the early version of this musical. That's the album.
You know what? And you know what's awesome? Like, South Park is, people are like, oh, it's like shit humor or whatever. After watching that episode, like, I really looked into Mormonism.
Oh, yeah.
It's so much more crazy than they were like leading up.
That one, their Scientology episode, they're great stuff, and they're
Make you think.
they're very educated people.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't get as much of it in their first season.
No,
which is
they
still
talk
really
about
strong.
that too.
They
The
get,
first two seasons.
yeah, first two seasons. They're not really as deep into that stuff
Yeah.
there. But then it just starts after the movie. I think that especially.
Yeah, that's what they
brought
said
it
actually.
out.
Because they had like some power, like we know what we're doing, we made money. So it's true.
Yeah, very cool. It's kind of a lot of their stuff is in that same vein as the Penn Color show reminds me, but they do it in such a beautiful, entertaining way. And in this one, that you get a lot of fun stuff from Penn Color's bullshit, but it's old school. They had said there were some things that they wanted to, some topics that they were going to tackle, but they said that South Park already did it so well.
Oh,
They
yeah?
just wanted to go like there was one they're talking about psychics. But they had done some stuff on psychics in their show, but they're like, nothing compared to what South Park had done. But just, brilliant things of looking at the world. You and me.
When he started
Too much,
singing
too
that.
much fun, good friends.
But just the thing, like showing what a narcissist he is.
Yes.
Like,
Well,
but
'cause
mostly
he's going to change the world. That's
Yeah.
what he's going to believe. He's going to convert all these people and change the world. But he also didn't expect the horrible challenge of Africa. He wanted to do it a little nicer way. And then the way that they're getting him back there or keep getting him to stay there is like, no one's converted all these people, but you could do it. You could be the one to do it. So still pushing that forward on them.
It's interesting that they question the quick change and not the, it suddenly turns to hell and like really quickly and then down.
Oh, well, sets these days. We do anything sets, but costumes? Come on.
Putting on some vests. Holy shit.
Yeah. All American.
yeah, and just like it was just the songs. Like you listen to some musicals and like it just seems poorly written.
Yeah.
This is just the whole entire thing. The lyrics,
Any of the ones that have both the longevity that this one is having and will continue to have has got to have that kind of song to it. Yeah. I have the man up. On that quote is, I have the tiger. Wants to be I have the tiger, but about Jesus.
That was
I would have. That's the other thing about watching a movie version of this is I want to see Josh Gad in that role.
that would be really, really cool.
I liked our character.
Oh yeah, no, he was great. The cast that we had was great. However, if you look at him, he's definitely cast to be like Josh Gad.
Oh, yeah.
Because he originated that role, so you want to see that original thing.
I believe that in 1978, God changed his mind about black people.
That was one of those things. One of the first Mormons that I got to talk to a lot about religion, and that was one of the things that I had learned about how they believe that the black pigmentation is God's curse on them. But if they are good enough Mormons, then their skin will turn white over time.
True. So Michael Jackson.
He's good. Yeah.
I love in Baptize Me. What do you put? He's like, he's gonna spray you with the Holy Spirit or whatever. Like, I was like, oh god.
Yeah,
I forgot the actual what they said.
innuendo throughout that whole
Oh, yeah.
song was it's right there. I'm wet with salvation.
You gotta have that. That's like, again, this is
Gonna do it again.
a lot like the South Park movie. You get these traditional musical styles in there and musical parodies. And whereas the South Park one was so much a parody of both Oklahoma and the Les Miserables.
Yeah.
You get a lot of that in there. Although more Les Miserables in that one. Because Oklahoma you get a lot in the Cannibal musical. This one you get a lot from The Lion King. Which, I mean, set in Africa, you gotta do that.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, what about, is there the clit face in here?
What do you mean? On the picture?
Yeah, they don't have a picture of the clit
Joseph
face.
Smith's face. Yeah. Oh, and the frog. Yep.
Don't fuck the magical fuck frog.
Yeah, to cure the AIDS. But he's solving real problems there with Africa. Like, how about don't do that. And the book where it gets placed. General Butt Fucking Naked. That's the book.
Hello, my name is General Butt Fucking Naked.
It's a good one too. At the end.
Yeah.
Mostly because of Hello, this is great.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think for me, like the quintessential essence of Matt Stone and Trey Parker's abilities always lied in them just being able to just completely either cross the line in very acceptable ways and very and it's always like that, and it's in South Park, in this, and in a lot of things they'll do that. They'll just completely cross the line. It's their whole, and it's them. It's their fun. It's why they do everything they do, is because that's their enjoyment, is having fun with the FCC and seeing what they can get away with.
That's a lot. Yeah, a lot of it you get the FCC.
For South Park, at least.
Yeah, for that one, and in other venues where they have to push just people's thoughts and
that's where they are here.
And it's what are they allowed to say, and especially in America where you have the theoretical free speech.
And they're using a religion.
Yeah, you can say anything you want. You are legally allowed to say anything you want there, but societally, can you say it? And those are the boundaries that they push, is what society will allow.
Religion, Africa, AIDS.
And making a musical about that. It's serious stuff.
Raping
And they're talking
babies.
about,
Raping babies.
and that's not like they're saying in the musical that is good. That is a different side of things that they could just, if they were just trying to be offensive, then they
that's
would
how they get away with
be
it,
promoting it. No, it's not just that.
They're really good at
They're
good at
responsible.
getting away with shit.
They're really responsible
They know how
with
to do
what
it.
their messages are in them, though. When they have this many people listening to what they're saying, they're not promoting bad things.
No, yeah.
They're definitely using it for good.
They're promoting just be a good person, please.
Yeah.
That's it.
Oh yeah, listening to the soundtrack and just thinking of Olaf singing everything. That's what I do.
That is fun, yeah.
Let's see how much this thing has made.
Does it have it
so
on here?
far. I mean, there's all these little monies here. Price of this. Find out. How do you find out how much it's made? They don't put it on these ones because it's still running. It changes all the time.
Yeah, from production.
The
Bullspit.
Book of Mormon profit. Not that kind of profit.
Wow. Amazing.
Yeah. let's see, $19 million per month is one list here.
Not bad.
Mahani
All of this now.
Ibuai. Thank you, God.
Yeah, that's what they sing at the end of the whole thing.
Yeah.
Wow. I'm looking up the price. There's only one seat left on Thursday. Costa Mesa, $400.
Totally worth it. Part of it too, when in the order that we went to see it, I had seen it first. I thought that you were seeing it right after, but I think it was off by a while. I guess.
Like a month.
Yeah, a month.
Oh.
We
And
thought we
then
were
I
seeing
was
it
also
then.
supposed to see it like immediately after, but that didn't happen.
Yeah, but then when you went to see it, I had already seen it, and I went online to see if there was still a ticket left. I'm like, I really want to see this one
It
again.
was so upsetting. Did I tell you?
No.
Because when I went, there was a couple girls sitting next to me, and there was an empty seat, and they were like, "Oh yeah, our friend couldn't make it." And I was just like,
No!
"Who would have bought that ticket?" Like I died. I just died.
It's definitely one that you want to see that one again.
You know, like, yeah, it's just right. They just had it. Like
I would have just
like,
brought
oh
something
my
big just to
God.
put there.
That's bullshit.
Let's see, this article from the beginning of this year, January 20. No, wait, January 20. Old one. No, I don't care that how much money it made of then. Oh well, this musical makes a ton of money.
Yeah.
Still not as much as The Lion King, because The Lion King's been around for longer and doesn't do much more. But
And the Lion King.
that'd be
It's like the fucking cartoon.
yeah. Well, it'd be amazing to see this one outlast The Lion King, but then people wouldn't understand The Lion King stuff as well. It's the beauty of having those both be on Broadway at the same time. Oh yeah. She does some good stuff, and then she also does Spider-Man Turn Off the Duck and gets fired. Yeah. Alright, well, thank you for joining us for Broadway Discussions.
No!
Special discussions.
Yeah!
Broadway edition.
Yeah!
Man.
Thanks for watching. Great comment. Watch all our other videos on Magic 8 TV.
Don't rape the baby.
Don't rape the baby.
Fuck the frog.